Hello everyone, myself Manivel Praveen from group LA1 1932. Today I am going to present the topic of lateral group of leg guided by Assistant Professor Alexander Dutrisky. First, the muscles of the lateral compartment of leg. There are two major muscles in the lateral compartment of the leg. The first one is the fibularis longus and the second one is fibularis brevis. These are also known as peroneal longus and peroneal brevis. First, we are going to see the fibularis longus. The fibularis longus originates from the upper lateral surface of fibula, head of fibula, and lateral tibial condyle, and the fibers converge into a tendon which descends into the foot posterior to the lateral malleolus. Then, the tendon crosses under the foot and attached to the bones on the medial side, namely the medial cuneiform and base of first metatarsal. Next, we are going to see the nerve supply to the muscles. The nerve supply to the muscle is from the superficial fibular nerve from L5, S1, S2 spinal cord segment. And now we are going to discuss the movements associated with this muscle. The movement associated with this muscle are eversion and plantar flexion of foot and supports the arches of foot. Next, we are going to see the fibularis brevis. The fibularis brevis muscle is deeper and shorter than fibularis longus. It originates from the inferior lateral surface of fibular shaft, and the muscle belly forms a tendon which descends with the fibularis longus into the foot, and then it travels posteriorly to the lateral malleolus, which then pass over the calcaneus and the cuboidal bones, and also the tendon inserts to the tubercle on the fifth metatarsal. And we are going to see the nerve supply. The nerve innervation to this muscle is also superficial fibular nerve, and the movement is also eversion of foot. Next, we are going to see the nerve supply to the lateral region. The nerve supply to the lateral region is mainly provided by the superficial fibular nerve. The superficial fibular nerve is one of the terminal branches of the common fibular nerve. It arises in the substance of peroneus longus muscle on the lateral side of the neck of fibula, and it descends between the fibularis longus and brevis muscle, the lateral side of extensor digitoris longus, and there it gives rise to motor branches which supplies the fibularis longus and fibularis brevis. Then the nerve continues its descent with a purely cutaneous function, providing sensory innervation to the anterolateral aspect of the lower leg. When the superficial fibular nerve reaches the lower third of the leg, it pierces the deep crural fascia and terminates by dividing into the medial and intermedial dorsal cutaneous nerves. These nerves enter the foot to innervate the majority of its dorsal surfaces. And now we are going to see the sensory and motor function of this nerve. First, we are going to see the motor function. The motor function is provided by the superficial fibular nerve. The superficial fibular nerve supplies the fibularis longus and fibularis brevis. Then the muscle form the lateral compartment of lower leg. They act to evert the foot and thus act as a subtalar joint. They also weakly contribute to the plantar flexion, although this action is mainly carried out by the gastrocnemius and the soleus muscle. Next, we are going to see the sensory function. The sensory function is mainly provided by the superficial fibular nerve. The superficial fibular nerve provides cutaneous innervation to certain areas of the leg and foot. It also innervates the skin over the anterolateral leg via cutaneous branch directly from the superficial fibular nerve. It also innervates the skin of the dorsum of the foot, except the webbed space between the hallux and the second digit via the medial and intermedial dorsal cutaneous nerve. Now we are going to see the dermatomes. The dermatomes which these nerves carry are the areas corresponds to the L5 and S1 segment. Next, we are going to see the clinical relevance. There are two relatively common pathologies involving the damage of the superficial fibular nerve. The first one we are going to see is the superficial fibular nerve entrapment. Superficial fibular nerve entrapment, which is also known as nerve compression. It can cause pain and paresthesia over the lower leg and dorsum of the foot. Entrapment frequently results from ankle sprains or twisting of the ankle, as this causes the nerve to stretch in the lower leg. And the another cause of nerve entrapment occurs at the point where the nerve exits the deep fascia of the leg, the nerve becoming compressed by this fascia. Surgical decompression of the nerve, therefore, is used to provide relief from symptoms and pains. Next, we are going to see the direct damage to the superficial fibular nerve. The direct damage to the superficial fibular nerve is provided by the superficial is provided when the superficial fibular nerve may be damaged by a fracture of the fibula or by a perforating wound to the lateral side of the leg. As the muscles that the superficial fibular nerve innervates or elevators, injury to the nerve may result in a loss of eversion, a loss of sensation over the majority of the dorsum of the foot, and the anterolateral aspect of the lower leg could also result to this. Next, we are going to see the blood supply. The blood supply to this region is provided by superior and inferior lateral fibular artery. The inferior lateral fibular artery runs towards the foot in the deep posterior compartment of the leg, just medial to the fibula. It supplies a perforating branch to both the lateral and anterior compartments of the leg. It is also provide a nutrient artery to the fibula. Thank you for your attention.